All right, so that was a lot of fun. That was me completely forgetting to turn on the microphone, which is super embarrassing. So, Andrew, if you can throw me back in frame. All right, thanks everybody for joining us for this live stream. I really appreciate it. Tonight we're going to be playing around with the Mercury laser control system on a couple of pro-grade lighting consoles. Going to be using the Avolites Sapphire Touch and the GrandMA 2 Light. We've got Drew and Max from DH Designs. They're going to be putting together some cues, showing you sort of how to build a show from scratch using the Mercury control system on these consoles. Mostly we're just sort of messing around, keeping it casual. If there's something you want to see, put it in the comments. We'll get to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you our gear setup here. So we're using 5 of the Skywriter HPX M-5. So this is our 5-watt Skywriter. The entire evening has been brought to you by Breckenridge Bourbon and Sugarland's Shine. We're using a Yeti USB mic in order to capture the whole room in a mediocre fashion. I'm moving to a wireless mic later on for higher quality. Got our little streaming setup there. Welcome to our tiny demo room here at X-Laser. Back over here, we've got Drew on the GrandMA 2 Light. And over here, we've got Max on the Avolites Sapphire Touch. So if you can bear with me for just a moment, we're going to go ahead and reset the camera here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you what these guys have done in one day. They've each had one day to work with the systems. There we go. And let us know how our audio quality is and everything like that. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to headset now. Can someone go ahead and kill the house lights? Okay, switching over to the headset now. First show we're going to do, this is going to be Daniel Maxwell. The song that we've got is Enlightened by Approaching Nirvana. And Max, say the word when you're ready. All right, let's get a hand for Max. That was his first show built on the Mercury laser control system. He's using the Avolites Sapphire touch on that one. We're now going to move over to the GrandMA light run by Drew Hornback. And he's going to be playing, let me look it up, Beautiful Beginning by Jameson Strain. Awesome thing is that DH Designs is actually going on tour with Jameson Strain in the upcoming, 1 month, 2 months here?
April, 1 month.
In April? Yep. Awesome. All right, say the word when you're ready, boss.
Ready when you are.
Forget the breaking down. Forget the day before the day you turn around and treat it all for redemption. 'Cause the freedom that we need is here and now. Standing in the sun, trusting in the one who gave us a beautiful beginning. This is a beautiful beginning. Standing in the sun, trusting in the one who gave me a beautiful beginning. This is a beautiful beginning. Starting now and starting over. It's a second chance to change the way it is and lose yourself in the moment and find the grace in every moment after this. Standing in the sun, trusting in the one who gave me a beautiful beginning. This is a beautiful beginning. Standing in the sun, trusting in the one who gave me a beautiful beginning. This is a beautiful beginning. Standing in the sun, trusting in the one who gave me a beautiful beginning. This is a beautiful beginning. Standing in the sun, trusting in the one who gave me a beautiful beginning. This is a beautiful beginning. Whoa.
All right, and that was Drew Hornback. Thank you very much. So the whole point of this right here was to show you guys just what all is capable in 1 hour, or sorry, 1 day of working from an absolutely blank show file into what we've got going on here. Couple more things I'd like to say. We've got a couple other people in the room, one of which is me. I'm Adam Rao, president of X-Laser. One other person we have in the room, if you've got questions, is Andrew Berry. Andrew is the designer of the Mercury laser control system, and he's just doing absolutely amazing stuff with this. We're really proud of what he's built here. So moving forward, what we're going to do is we're going to show, which one of you guys wants to go first? Is it Max is going to go first? All right, cool. So we're just going to play some music here. I apologize if it gets a little bit repetitive. Basically, we're trying to play live stream friendly music so that it doesn't get the stream shut down by the Facebook and YouTube gods. So I'm just going to go through a couple songs here. Some of it's electronic, some of it's orchestral, that kind of thing. The first batch that we're going to go through, and I'm going to put the credits in the comments. We got a couple tracks here by Laserhawk. We're just going to play that while Max is going through. I'm going to leave the console and laser side of this pretty big so that you're able to see what he's doing. It'll be a little bit blurry because we're trying to show the whole console. We're going to have a whole lot of more in-depth tutorials as we move forward. This is sort of to give you an idea of the workflow and how they're going along. You can see that he's got a well-developed show file here. He built this show file in 1 day of working with the system. He's basically set up this show file specifically just for working with some lasers, but one of the fun things that he's done is he's actually brought in some of the effects and shapes that he's used on some of his moving heads, Mac Vipers, etc. And he's able to apply those to the lasers as pre-built shapes and effects, and he can just map those to the different builders on the lasers. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Max here. One moment here while I turn on some music, and he's just going to start messing around. And folks, speak up if the audio is a little weird. We got a bunch of different microphones here to try and get things going. So if you end up with weird echoes or anything like that, just let me know. Thanks, Fernando. I really hope you like the mobile beats. We are building a version of the mobile beat that has Mercury integrated that's going to be coming out late this month, early next month. Thanks, Curtis. I appreciate it, man. The thing is, all lasers are beautiful. The big thing we're going for here is having that beauty, but being able to integrate it with your entire lighting rig so that you've got the same shapes and effects and all that that you're doing with your laser that you're doing with your moving heads. One of the private messages that we got was about specifically, oh man, well, I mean, Avolites Sapphire is 26 grand, a GrandMA light is 40 grand. How do you folks expect me to buy that? The short version is, you don't need a console that's this big in order to be able to run this. I've been running this with demos and just messing around using the Titan 1, which is $250 to $300 from an Avolites dealer. X-Laser is an Avolites dealer, so you can pick these up on our website if you're so inclined. But the Titan 1 gives you the full version of the Avolites software, but with only one universe of output.
And that's what I use. I mean, it's easy to take on the road. It's just a little USB dongle. I only run one laser on it when I'm on the road, but if I were using the basic builder, I could run all 4 of these, no issue. It's a real blast to be able to use the full version of the Titan software through Avolites using just that one simple low-cost dongle. I know MA offers a couple of low-cost options as well. MA.2 is really popular, and that software is free. It does output via ArtNet free, I believe, but beyond that, you can also get a MA node if you want the full GrandMA software to be able to put out there. I think that's about $1,400, maybe $1,800. But either way, like, it's a lot easier to get into this at a low price point than you would expect on the control side. The beauty of this is that it covers all of your lighting needs, basically. Like, you get DMX out, you get ArtNet out. To give you guys a little bit of background, the last lighting console I personally had worked with was the ETC Obsession 2 way back at Center Stage in Baltimore when I was working there. And I had no idea how far these consoles had come up until this year. And being able to do all these shape generators and everything, it completely opened my mind to a whole new world of laser that I know is possible with Beyond. Beyond is great software. I absolutely love using it. But for me, personally, the workflow is a little bit smoother as I'm using a console where I can set positions, color palettes, shape generator, all that good stuff. Hey, Arnaldo, thanks for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it.
Adam.
Yes, sir.
So one of the things that's real big about what I'm doing right now is literally the only thing that I have built on the console is a pan, circle, and tilt effect. I'm only grabbing layers and hitting a pattern. That's it.
That's it. That's all you're doing is pan, circle, and tilt.
I'm doing a pan, a circle, a tilt, and giving it a speed.
That's beautiful. I mean, one of the things that we said was that this was going to be, built from scratch, and that's exactly what he's doing. Is he's, changing the gobos, going with the color effects, and just building stuff out of his show file. It's a beautiful thing.
And a lot of what's out of my show file is literally I've used the tilt and the circle effect. No one has to try to do that. That's something that comes in a console's effects engine automatically. Even as far as the colors, I'm just nailing color palettes, nailing gobos. A good example would be if I stop all the movement on these. One of the things about an Avo is we can go in and locate, and you end up looking just like a regular moving light at this point.
Yeah, because it's basically just like that. The locate function on the Avo is just that tight
just
center
like I
beam.
do on the normal. I can give it a pan just like I do on the normal. I can even go in and grab just my bottom 2 lasers, and I can fan them. One of the things is, though, that we do have to remember for everything on the console is that everything about it works just like it does for a moving light. As spread out as it is, it works in 4 builders. 4 times 5 is 20, so I'm actually playing with 20 moving lights. At the price point that you'll end up buying a laser and the price point you'll end up buying a moving light, I can pay for a laser 5 times faster than I can a moving light.
I swear to God, I didn't coach this guy. Like, this is just, he's this into lasers, and I really appreciate that.
This right here is nothing but me fanning a shape.
And how would you get that look out of a moving head? Like, what moving head out there can do that kind of look?
I would have to have a gobo or multiple heads. This right here would end up being a faceted prism to do this. Right now I got just the aerial ones and I'm fanning it. As you can see how it breaks out into its prisms. Now, I'm not saying this is a replacement for movers.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not.
But if what you're going for is your aerial effects, I have position palettes built, just like I have position palettes built for moving lights. I have all the same stuff built that I would build for a mover. One of the ironic things is a lot of the things that I've done in here is I took a Elation 5R, and I happened to do a show at New Year's, and I went and stole a bunch of effects. As you can see here, it looks like I have a crap ton of what would be a Sharpie style effect. Here's a crap ton of Sharpie style beams, and all I have is a circle across 4 layers.
And that's it. That's Gobo page 1, pattern 1 out of 400 that we've got in there.
And it's running a circle.
and that's it. It's just a circle. Like, this is as simple as it gets, but you get this super dynamic effect. Hey, thanks for joining, Chuck and Omar. Good to see you.
One of the really cool things that I can go in here and do, which is really unique, is I can actually go in and grab the colors. Unlike a moving light, when I pick a color, it goes across the whole field. I don't have to go across the whole field. I get an option on where the color goes. It comes out across my screens. It gives me options. There's a lot of really weird things about it that aren't really lighting guy terminology, but once you play with it as a lighting guy, you end up liking it. I guess there's functions that I'm talking about.
So what's one example of like a function that we put in there? Because again, we're not lighting guys, we're laser guys, and we're trying to bring this to lighting guys. What's an example of one of the functions that's in there that you really enjoy using as a lighting guy, but you didn't really expect to find?
It would really be the color effects. And with that also being said, it's something that I personally am still having to get a handle on. It's really cool to be able to take and set, like right here, I have two separate colors, so this is one layer. Out of the one layer to get this look out of a mover, this is still just on a circle. I'll stop it so everybody can see it. To get this same look out of a circle, I would have to have a glass gobo. There's another gobo. As most of us who work with moving lights know, you run out of those fast. You can also see here how I'm giving it more of my color. So if I actually wanted to twist it around, I got a 50-50 thing going on right here. I can also tell it how much of the fade I want it to have. So I can have the smooth transition into it if I really want to.
So it's like you've got CMY flags, but you can do them on any portion of the image.
Correct. Plus, I can also take a separate layer. So there are builders in here. I can select a separate builder. So I just selected builder 2. I'm going to put it in my cross position, and there's a whole nother position. I'm going to select builder number 3, give it a spread out position. There's another position. And it looks like I'm just stacking moving lights in there. And all I'm doing is grabbing the same laser, more builders in it, and stacking them on top of each other.
So Curtis Griswold just asked, what about a color scroll?
It does have the features of a color scroll. You can do multiple versions of a color scroll. Imagine a color scroll on crack that have been drinking for 3 days. You have no... It can go anywhere. It can climb anything. It's freaking Spider-Man, dude. Like, the really cool thing is I can take and pick where I want the color scroll to happen. So let's say I want the bottom half of the beam, and I have to play with the profile a little more to get that far into it. I'm sure I could sit here for 5 minutes or so and do it and let y'all be bored, but I'm not going to do that. Drew has a lot of that stuff actually done into his show that he already did. I had some of it done into my show, where you can roll through colors only in certain parts of the laser.
See, Drew took the time to set that up at his show, whereas Max didn't. That's something that I personally played with a lot. One of my favorite things to do with that is I'll do a circle on the inside and a circle on the outside so that I've got 2 nested beams. It's like having a Sharpie in a Sharpie. And then I'll do a color effect so that I'm scrolling through on the inner color and I'm scrolling through on the outer color as 2 different colors. So I end up with this cool, like, cascading color effect. Max, do you mind if we hand it over to Drew to mess around with a bit on the MA?
Go for it.
Drew, you good?
I am good. I gotta turn on my network here real quick.
All right, we just changed the corner camera over to the MA.
So, kind of what I want to do this first little bit is kind of show off the MA profile. Andrew and I have been working pretty around the clock the last 2 days, working on kind of customizing it and making it the best that we can for everyone out there. And we're still working on it. There are a few bugs still in it that we're trying to work out, and so just bear with us as we start working on it. So right now, I'm just going to take one of my layers here that I've got a split color on right now. and I'm just going to go ahead and select that. So what we did is, if you can kind of see my screen here, we added a laser tab to the selection area. So we've got the laser there. In this, we'll find our images, our prisms, color effects, all of the wave and motion effects. And this allows us to be able to make custom encoders that allow you to basically use the laser terminology in the MA, which is, I think, a great feature to have. So first thing I kind of want to do with this current look is I want to add some prisms to it. I actually want to go 1x5 on this layer. And then my next layer, I'm going to
built into Mercury are 11 different prisms right off the bat.
Correct, yeah, and it's incredible. So you've got anywhere from 1x2 to 1x6. You've got a couple of different square options and everything like that. And so on this one, I'm going to add this just triangle look. On my next layer, we're going to add in hexagon breakup. So that looks like. And then finally, my last layer, I'm going to add in a square with center beam. And it's so easy to talk about the 400 gobos. The 400 gobos in this thing are absolutely incredible. And my favorite one that we've come up with is actually on page 2. And it's going to be the second one. So it gives you this really cool liquid sky. And it's really incredible just to be able to get something like this magnitude that would take a really long time elsewhere, especially for me, never used lasers outside of the console. But now with this, we have all these really cool effects parameters in this. So I'm going to add in kind of a little like wave kind of deal, and we're going to add a little bit of amplitude to it, some speed, so you get this really cool just like wave happening. I'm going to change the axis just a little bit, put it on like a 90-degree axis, which allows for more of a kind of the smoother look that I'm looking for. I'm going to add a little bit of wavelength to it as well, give it a little bit more ripply feel to it. So you get this really just subtle wave going with it. And then I've got this, I've got a tap tempo. I'm just gonna, you can add in some
I just love all the different chase effects you're doing. Chase effects are one of those things that like really advanced people are great at doing in the LaserShow software, but I personally have difficulty with it. But when I throw it in the shape generator in the console, it just takes care of it.
Yeah, really kind of love everything about what we have right now. So it's very easy to load, everywhere from pre-built effects to anything you really want to make, as most of you probably understand. So what we're kind of trying to stick to tonight is I'm going to load some pre-built effects that come in the MA. and then I'm gonna tweak them to like my liking, obviously. So we're gonna start there. So here, I'm gonna just go ahead and tap and edit, just like you would any time with a moving light. I'm gonna hit hand tilt. I'm gonna load a defined. I'm just gonna make a circle. So just something really, really simple. Go ahead and tap that so that we get it in. And it allows us to get a kind of just move, kind of flowing circle. I'm going to add in another layer, but on this layer, I'm going to make another kind of effect. Just using the pre-built stuff. I think we're going to do, let's just do a tilt. See how that works. We get this kind of just feel with the different kind of just groove. I'm actually going to change color here. Make something a little poppier.
One of the things we're thinking about doing, folks, and let us know if this is something that interests you. Tonight we're really just showing like sort of the building blocks and sort of getting going. Not really meant to be a tutorial, just sort of an example of what happens when lighting designers get to work with this system. But what we're thinking about after these guys get a little more experience with the system is tomorrow night doing a live busking where we just sort of do like a head-to-head kind of thing. Let me know if that's the kind of thing that you'd be interested in seeing.
Somebody asked earlier kind of about like what's a rainbow look like on it, and so we can kind of go into the color effects. Gotta remember where it is. I believe.
One of the things I want to note, because it's really interesting, is that both of these guys started with absolutely empty show files. I mean, the way that these show files are typically built, like Drew's normal show file, what was that, like 9 years, 8 years?
It's been a while.
So his normal show file has just years and years of building it up over time and over time. And these are show files that they've built basically specifically for working with these lasers just over the course of the last day.
I don't
But of
have
course-
a file for this. I just bought it last week.
That's true. For anyone who didn't hear, because I didn't have his mic turned up, Max is saying he didn't have a show file for this because he just bought this console last week. He just got this Sapphire. Are we allowed to say where this Sapphire was from?
Sure.
Yeah,
see why you can't.
I bought it from Limelight.
You bought it from Limelight?
Bought it from Limelight. Andre Huff.
So I can't say we're all right. Never mind, everybody. This console has a good history, though. It's good pedigree. Thanks, Arnaldo. I appreciate that, man. For someone who does as many live streams as you do, I really appreciate that you think it's fairly well put together. Thank you.
One of the things that we were going through earlier, and Drew touched on the prisms and the colors, and he also touched on the fact that he hasn't actually ran Quicksilver on. I have. When I started on this, I was fighting with the DMX. But as an LD, one of the things that I've noticed is different from a prism that I have in a moving light is I can adjust my spread. So how far apart the facets of my prism are is completely variable. My color transitions in the console are just as quick as they are with any color mixing.
This is a great example. I'm right here.
There you go.
I am currently. This is my prism. Obviously, this is a. I'm going to change this actually to something that's going to be a little bit easier to see here. So this is a 1x5 prism right here that you're looking at. I am able to control, as you see, the prism, like the spacing of how this is happening. So I can get this, which gives me, if you look, gives me this really cool red to purple in the beam look with the way the color gradient I have is, and then you get it closer, you see the beam spread apart. Absolutely love this look. I think I'm going to spend some time here and build an effect that allows me to do the spacing, because I love how it looks.
Fanning out those builders is pretty awesome.
I mean, because when it gets to here, you see the purple.
Sorry, fanning out the prism is
yeah,
crazy.
You get the red and the blue on the sides. Just pan it out, and you get the gradient, which is just can't even describe the look. Like, I don't know of any moving light out there in the world that I can do this in and get this incredible color.
So, one of the big things that we've noticed actually as LDs is you really have to plan out your transition between your gobos.
Yes, that is one of the biggest things I fought with all day
That
today.
is nightmare.
Yeah.
On moving heads, you mean, or
On a moving head. I don't know how much a lot of these know about an actual moving lights. And I'm assuming several of these know quite a bit. But if so, you know that all the gobos are on a wheel. That wheel has to spin. So if I want to go from a gobo that's on one side of the wheel to the other one in a snap, I'm going to see everything in between. I don't have that problem. The other problem that you'll have with a moving light sometimes is going between your positions, the speed in which you can get there. I know that some people are going to say, and this is a big difference currently, that, well, moving lights are a full moving head. We can move them anywhere. That's very true. But the reason that the Cyberlight was so popular originally was due to its speed. It's virtually impossible to move the entire yoke that fast. Out of the nose of this thing, you're blowing 45 degrees. You can kick just about wherever you want to go, and if you can't get that wide, buy another laser.
So I want to cut in just a second here and say we got a couple questions here. One is Arnaldo. He's asking if we can see a shutter chase effect. I don't know if that's something one of you guys has available.
You want to take back over?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay,
Alright.
so Matt's going to go ahead and take that back
I
over.
have to do that just a second. I can go ahead and do it.
have one built, but
That
I'm sure
easy.
you do.
I'm going to build it on the fly.
And then the other one I got was Francesco from Pangolin wanted to ask what the maximum scan rate that can be used, because there's a lot of flicker on the camera. You're right, that's absolutely, the vast majority of that is the camera, as you know. But of course the scan rate is going to be based on what the laser is. I mean, you know that we don't do particularly high scan rate lasers for the most part. Vast majority of the gear that we do is 30K, which is fine for a lot. I mean, sometimes you want no flicker, sometimes you want flicker, and of course on a higher scan rate laser you can put that in, but really it's all variable. Like you're saying, you know, if you use 2 gobos it will be double the amount of flicker. No, it's a matter of the laser's going to be doing the best that it can do at all times. So if you're using 2 really complex gobos at the same amount of time, sure, there's going to be a bunch of flicker, just like with any other solution out there. But if you're using two simple gobos, like a circle next to a square, then there's not going to be any noticeable flicker. I hope that answers the question. All right, sorry to cut you off there, Max.
Oh, you're good. All right, so what I've done is I've taken each builder, I've put it in a different position. This nice, wide, pretty thing. What I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to talk as I build this, just so you can see how fast I can actually do it. I'm doing nothing but a circle in the same colors I had a minute ago. I'm going to grab my group just like I do on a normal moving light. I go to my shapes generator. And here's a dimmer spread. As you notice, they're all flashing right now. It takes me nothing just to come in here, and I'm going to actually spread it to 20. Because, as I did say a minute ago, with 4 builders, we are sitting on 20 fixtures. So you can see what that chase is. When I gut it, you can actually see, without me holding the intensities up, what it comes down to on its own. Within that, I can affect the phase of it, the size of it. I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller. Not only that, I can actually speed it up. One of the biggest problems that a lot of LDs have with some laser stuff is once your speed is set, you can't change it. And as you see, I'm speeding it up and looking at it as I'm doing it. I'm at 64, 68, 67. Let's hold Avo down and get faster. I can actually get some pretty neat strobe style effects out of it.
That is a stupidly quick strobe. I should put an epilepsy warning on the live stream.
Why don't you tell them how we made that other strobe on my console?
Okay, so...
Oh, man, it's becoming an MA versus Avo thing over here.
It's not,
No,
it's not.
It's just a funny...
This is actually... So, lighting guys inevitably for years have played on faults of fixtures. Everything has a problem. Everything in the world has a problem. There is nothing that is perfect. If there was, call me. I'd like to talk to you, God. But with that being said, everything has a problem. There's downfalls, there's pros, there's cons. One of the things with lasers is exactly what Francesca mentioned a minute ago, which was scan rates. One of the really cool things with scan rates is there's a crazy strobe effect that LDs try to get extremely often. That's not possible.
Hey, welcome, Justin. Good to see you, man.
One of the fastest ways to get that is for us to throw so much of the laser that it can't accomplish it that quick. There we go. I get the strobe that happens out of the scan rate. Drew found this earlier when we wanted a really, we call them trash can endings on songs, which is basically we throw a bunch of random shit in the air. And that's what we did. We threw a bunch of random shit up and it flashed like crazy. I'll kick it over to him because I think he actually has it on a button. But yeah, like I said, this right here is straight up a spread effect. I can give it any direction I want in any way I want. I can give it a full color where it's barely bouncing through. I can cut the size in half, and now it's just pulsing within it. So it literally programs out like our lighting does. Our lighting's made to do it, and it's just what the consoles are made for. Avo, MA, Hog, Chamsys, ETC. It doesn't really matter who you pick. Consoles are built to run the lights.
I'd like to apologize to everyone. I was on haze duty, and I put way too much haze in here. So things on the camera are a little too blown out right now. But it'll calm down pretty quick. Sorry about that.
What did you say it was?
Hey, you're hot, man.
Oh, I'm hot?
Yeah,
Oh, hey.
go ahead and show them that.
Oh, okay,
scan rate.
we're moving back over to the MA. Cool.
Go ahead and show them that scan rate that we were talking about a minute ago where we just
this?
overthrew it.
Oh.
Basically, we threw so much at it that we did a kick-ass color. The great thing is we can put it on a button, so I can hit my button, throw it, and as quick as I let it go, it goes back away again. I can give it a time. I can do whatever I want to it.
So you get like this textured strobe kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty damn funny, Arnaldo. I get that. That's Arnaldo said, "We get it. You vape."
Oh, he's right.
We did talk about cigars and laser stars, but we haven't got that far yet.
See, Warren just got back from Cuba. We should have had him give us some of those Cuban cigars.
Oh, we found the culprit. It's Brad. Brad's been vaping at the computer screen.
Oh yeah, that was it. It was definitely Brad. I'm sorry you weren't able to make it down, Brad. I knew I'm glad you're vaping instead of smoking, though. Good for you, man.
So one of my favorite gobos that I'm hoping to currently fine. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and then I understand that it might be. I don't think it's in here.
The previous page?
It might be this
It
one.
should be on that page.
Should be on this
Sunrise?
page. No.
Adam can't draw.
There it
Is that it? I think that's it.
Is that,
So
are you
if,
here,
if
Adam
we
can't
can't,
draw?
if we can't
Make it a little smaller so people can see it on the
Yeah.
ceiling. Cut the geo post side.
That-
oh no,
oh,
that's
no, that's
gross.
Pac-Man.
That's from an unknown licensed property that has nothing to do with Atari.
Ah, fair.
That's like one little tweak short on the bottom so that it's not a direct ripoff of the Pac-Man Ghost.
Ah, that's it. Okay, well, let's just keep scrolling here because I understand, I believe that my favorite Gobo is somewhere in this pack here.
No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think there are any special Gobos in here.
Oh,
rock!
Hey!
Damn it! Yeah, there it is.
man.
And this is, you guys will see in our Gobo pack, we've got names for a lot of this. This one in particular is called Adam Can't Draw.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Francesco, no, you can't play asteroids on this, man. You guys already have that done in LD2000. I don't know why you're trying to do stuff with this that you can already do with something else.
Man, I
You
just
play Space Invaders on an MA though.
You can't on this one, unfortunately. It's only on MA1.
It's all right. I bought a PlayStation to play video games.
But I thought maybe we could like add some prisms to it. Oh, you know what? I think we can roll that too. Oh, yeah.
I think this is a good time to reiterate that this was in fact sponsored by Breckenridge Bourbon and
yeah.
Sugar
You wanna hand me that
Shine.
jar?
So if we get
Yeah.
a little off the rails, I do apologize.
I want to give a quick shout out to my Sugarland Shine
Get that
family.
camera shot right there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful full size shot.
We want to thank all of our friends over at Sugarland.
Yeah, Sugarland's really taking
hooked
care of
us
us. DH Designs, DH Production Designs, really enjoys all their products.
They make good products. What can I say? Arnaldo wants to ask if you can play Space Invaders on an Avo.
No, but you can on an MA1. So
okay, so on
what
an
you got?
MA1, you need to get that for Space Invaders, not
You cannot play
not the
Space
Evo.
Invaders on an MA1. But I will tell you, I've heard that you can play Call of Duty on an Xbox.
All right. Let's get back to the damn lasers here. Stop being a jerk.
So I
Sorry,
love
man.
EDM. Do we have something like a little poppy?
You want something poppy?
I don't know because I
I
like
don't know what I
can
can do that's pop that's not going to get blocked by Facebook Live.
I mean, I know
That's
we've
the
got
thing.
some synthy stuff over there, but I just loving this where this is headed right here. Like this is beautiful.
You like your prism of Adam Can't Draw?
Yeah,
going
because
through
I'm
some,
dedicated at
rotation
this
effect?
point to Adam Can't Draw. So I'm gonna
Hey, if
change-
anyone has any suggestions for music that's not going to get shut down by YouTube and by Facebook, that's a little more poppy.
Dane is
jump on here.
watching. What's up, buddy?
What, Dane Murray?
Yeah.
Whoa, man! I am so excited to see you're on here. I think Dane needs some lasers.
I think Dane needs lasers.
Dane, here's the deal. Between X Laser and DH Production
Why are you
Designs,
guys turning this into a sales thing? This is meant to be a
we
casual,
can hook you
fucking
up,
around,
man.
just messing with lasers thing.
Yeah, you know how much screwing around was, dude.
We're almost an hour into this. We're
an
not
hour
supposed
into
to be
this?
hawking the lasers yet.
No, I'm gonna be real honest. I am not a laser guy by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, you've never messed with lasers before LDI,
You're right. Let's just talk about LDI real quick. So I got a call from my wonderful buddy Maxwell over there, asking me to be a part of this incredible project with X Laser. I show up to LDI, never touched a laser in my entire life. I walk out, and I fell in love. Absolutely fell in love with
That's a beautiful
this.
story, man. I love that.
Yeah, I used to swear off lasers because I didn't want to work with another designer. And Max, I told him I never wanted them.
And that's the big thing is that this was built specifically for folks like you because the folks who are good at lasers, they already have a tool that does a very good job for a lot of what they do. But this was built for this different workflow of on the console, sort of. I'd been avoiding this kind of thing before.
Yeah, and I love them. You know,
Dane Murray says, "I'm watching from my hotel," and no, I don't.
Oh, come on, Dane.
Oh, sorry you got to run, Chuck. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Dude, Chuck.
We all love you, Chuck.
Chuck is an incredible rep at Freed Sales. Shout out to Freed Sales.
Yeah, Freed's pretty great, man. Like I
Freed's-
love a lot of our sales reps, but Freed's way up there.
Yes. Tell Dustin we said hey.
Hey, Dustin.
You know. So okay,
Alright, so
before
more strobing.
yeah, I'm gonna yeah, that's my problem. All right, so
I know, you're always just too flashy.
I am. I can't help it. I like flashy and upbeat.
Speaking of flashy, here's something that we have actually learned, and we hope you saw it in the songs that we did at the beginning. We picked those two songs for one very particular reason. Lasers have always gotten, and I, as an LD, originally caught this too. Lasers have always gotten that it has to be pop, it has to be EDM look. To tell you the honest truth, the way I met Adam and got with him to start with is I worked at a church in South Carolina, and I used them for worship.
This crazy guy used a 20-watt on top of a Christmas tree.
Oh, I didn't think we were allowed to talk about that
A year
anymore.
later, I mounted a 20-watt to the top of a Christmas tree.
If we're not allowed to talk about it, then let's just
We
forget I
can talk
said
about
anything,
that
and I'll.
I mean, he put a 20-watt laser on top of a
This
giant
is
Christmas
20-watt
tree.
lasers were the size of a pallet. At that point, I still ran it through my console, and I ran Penguin, and I was pretty happy with it. I fell in love with the looks that you can create. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the looks you can create. The songs we did at the beginning were slower songs to show how much texture, how much contrast you can get out of such a look. We try so hard with moving lights all the time to just light the room up. Is that our best tool for the application? Because I use my crescent wrench as a hammer a lot of times too. But a hammer works a lot better.
A hammer does work a bit better as a hammer goes. Oh, Chuck says he's a product specialist. I'm sorry, Chuck. You're my favorite product specialist. I have a lot of reps that I like, but I only know one product specialist, and it's you, Chief.
That's right. I did forget about
Arnaldo,
that.
there was your rainbow that you asked about earlier.
Yes, wonderful rainbow. So now I'm gonna kind of create a fly out because I want to. I'm not really happy with the speed right now though, so let's fix that.
You want me to go to a faster track or something?
No, I'm talking about my speed.
Oh,
You know what? This actually fits the current track that you're working on here.
God, I love these colors though.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I'm gonna be real honest. As a lighting designer, I'm always about like kind of keeping color simple. I kind of two color, maybe with a white accent kind of deal. But I'm loving this right now. The colors we're getting.
Andrew and I recently went to an undisclosed location and did a demo with a bunch of these systems for a large customer of ours, and they referred to this to that like rainbow effect as being a Coldplay effect.
Ooh,
And they
okay.
sort of said that with a little bit of disdain, although I'm sure they love Coldplay. But you look at all their shows and they're like rainbows left, rainbows right, and it's interesting.
I want to go back. I want to talk at Jeff Tucker real quick.
What did Jeff ask?
Jeff was asking about his X-beams, which ironically was the very first fixture that I ever used. Jeff, you can do a lot of really cool things with it. We're using the Mercury system, which isn't currently in the X-beam. I think that's a discontinued fixture if I'm not wrong, am I
That's
right?
correct.
It is a discontinued fixture.
Yeah, the X-beam's discontinued
It was a nice fixture. It worked great
at the
guys.
time. Like, if you
For
compare it
its
against
time.
a modern laser,
The
it's
honest-
not great.
The
but
honest truth is you might want to reach out with us, and I ain't trying to be a salesman on here, I really am not. But you might want to reach out. There's a lot of things that are economical that can really help you with that. The Pink Floyd thing.
yeah, I mean, we'll do trainings and things like that, but I do want to hit up and say
Sure.
there are no salesmen here. You've got the product designer, you've got president of the company, and then you got two lighting designers who don't make a dime from me. So it is what it is, man.
Wait, yeah. What did Joe ask?
What did Joe ask? I apologize. I missed that question. Dane Murray says, I've had lasers on shows for 10 years, including a couple of tours I've teched on. I've had mixed feelings on lasers. The ability of the media server style control surface makes things easier than anything Pangolin ever put out. I gotta say, Pangolin really does do a great job with a lot of their software. This is not to crap on Pangolin, but if you have approached that software before and it's not the kind of thing that works for you, this is a different workflow. It's a different tool for a different job. Try it out. Let me know what you think. I mean, you guys want to give me your, without saying bad things about Pangolin, because I love Pangolin personally, you guys want to give me your honest opinion on moving from the software to this? I guess, Drew, you never really used the software.
I mean, I tried to with Max, but I'm going to tell you
Max, you want to
that
give me
didn't go very
opinions
well.
on like things you liked about the software versus things you liked about
there are
this?
things, and I mean, blatant truth. I have a show in a week that Mercury is not the thing for it.
No.
It's not. I gotta shoot graphics at something. When it comes to graphics, Pangolin it does a good job with their stuff right now. I did a show with a Christmas tree where I shot lasers at a Christmas tree to make it look like neon sign. And I probably could have done some of it with Mercury, but I probably couldn't make snowflakes run up and down. However, I've also done aerial beam shows with Pangolin where I've crashed the software so many times that I'm literally cussing out loud. And the biggest problem with it is the exact problem that most people would have trying to do DMX control to any PC. PCs are not made for DMX to go to them.
No. See, I would like to say, and for what it's worth, when I use Beyond with ArtNet, it's really nice and solid. But what I'd like is what Arnaldo said here. Like the Taco Girl, why not both? And I think we could probably leave that side. That side of the discussion, we could probably leave there. Like Mercury is built to sort of play friendly with Beyond and Quick Show. It takes them as an input.
That's one of my favorite
features.
features.
To play together.
And I will say, kudos to any Pangolin guys on here, software guys, people working there on your distributive scanning, because that stuff, as soon as I get 4.0,
I love the distributive scanning at 4.0.
Because as far as logos go, you can't beat it.
Well, and then the best thing about Mercury in regards to Beyond is if I've got a person hanging out with me that only uses Beyond and I'm using MA, you can switch over. I can switch from the console and give them control right from the DMX profile.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
It is great.
A couple things I want to hit up in the comments here. Yeah, you folks Brad's talking about the Pink Floyd tribute band that he does some work with. Is it called Category 5, Brad? I can't remember if that's the Floyd tribute band or what, but BB Laser Productions. Brad does a lot of great work out of Delaware, and he's out in the Philly area and all that. He's doing a lot of great laser work with those folks. He's really doing good stuff. Brad and I came up in the industry about the same time, and we both learned a lot together. He's a real good guy. Joe's talking about I only have moving heads, moving scanners, and LED washes in my club. We've been playing with the idea of getting a laser. Joe, let us know where you're from, man. We'll get you put in touch with one of our sales reps in your area, get you hooked up with a demo, that kind of thing. We'll figure out the best way to move forward, man. Echoes is the name of Brad's Pink Floyd cover band. Thanks, man.
I pointed out Joe for a reason. I deal with a lot of the different club stuff, and yeah, if y'all see me looking on my phone, I'm reading what you're saying. But Joe mentioned that he's at a club. The reason that I mentioned that is, and Joe, sorry, it's because I'm talking about it too. Drew gets on to me about this all the time. I want to throw lasers at everything.
I got on to you about it this morning, actually.
You actually did.
Yeah.
They are not for everything. But
No.
That being said, one of the reasons I like them so much and that I went that direction is due to the fact of how much more they open your atmosphere. In a club atmosphere, Joe, if you'll look up at the top 3, can you turn off the bottom 2, Drew?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, give me just one hot minute.
You want me to take control?
Nope, you're good, buddy.
Okay. Anyway.
This is the point where they start fighting about Avo versus
these are
MA,
the bottom
and
2
one's
right
like,
here.
I can do
Go ahead
this,
and
but
kill
I can
those
do
and
that.
grab
Hey,
the top 3.
Adam's got a great point, though.
What's that?
He was talking. He had a great point.
Oh, I don't have that many great points. I was just making fun of the
Go ahead and go
Avo
to the
versus
top 3.
MA debate.
Turn on top 3.
Oh, so you want the bottom, and then now you want the top.
Gerald, if you'll look at these top 3 without the bottom 2 on,
Oh. See, you
and
asked
you'll
for the
notice
bottom
how
two
much
first.
they rake out at the ceiling. You
Well,
can
that's-
actually go to a lot of beam effects in here. You can get your textures, you can get a lot of things, and it makes your audience feel like they're part of what's going on stage.
Even
With any of my experience, some of my experience actually exists coming from Royal Caribbean.
What's
With
that? What is
we
that place?
go to create a big giant party. Nightclubs are to create a big giant party. The more I can get my audience to feel like they're on the stage, the more money they spend.
Well, I mean, that ties into one of the things that I honestly love about lasers, and this is one of the things that's amazing about crowd scanning lasers is, like with a Sharpie and all that, you can reach out a good bit into the audience. You can get 100 feet into the audience, but a laser allows you to just make your whole stage so much deeper and your show so much deeper, because you can get that hundreds of feet of range, where it's still nice, tight, bright light that really just sort of helps the whole show have a lot of depth and texture to it. Arnaldo would like to say, what we can all agree on is Jans sucks. I wouldn't say that's the case. House of Worship Market loves Jans.
Unfortunately, I can't make any comments about that.
And I'm sure they've got reasons to love Jans. I love all consoles, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. Dane Murray says, wants to throw lasers at everything.
I love
Max
that.
has never played a show at Jones Beach or Red Rocks.
He's been one of my best friends literally forever. I love you, bro.
Well, if anyone wants to chime in the comments and basically just, talk shit to Drew or Max or myself or
Please
Andrew,
do. We
who
love
has been
it.
silent, we are all about that.
All
right.
I can run this song.
You can. Yeah.
Oh, you want to run this song? I can restart
I
it.
mean, no, not necessarily. He doesn't really want to run it. What?
Who's taking it? Oh, they're fighting ArtNet now.
Oh, did you just turn your ArtNet
damn,
on?
it's an ArtNet duel.
Oh, well,
Turn
okay.
yours off real quick. So
I mean, hold on. I mean, you turned your ArcNet on and mine's on, so just gonna play around a little bit.
So what he's got right now is he's just got a queue list that he's going through. He built this queue list earlier when he was messing around with things here. Basically, this is the first show that he's built using the Mercury control system. We were showing him just yesterday how to actually use it. Max and Drew were both some of the folks who helped us design the initial layout of the system, how it would work and all that. But neither one of them has had an opportunity to actually work with one of these things with the current firmware and all of its layout.
Which is drastically different from LDI.
It is drastically different from LDI. Andrew put a bunch of awesome new stuff in there. Chris James asks, who's better?
At what?
Well, I mean, he's older by like 10, 12, 50 years.
That's
but,
true. You're an old man.
You'll suck.
I mean, just saying. The oldest one in the room is the one on Avo. So
I guess the answer to who is better depends on whether you personally are an Avo guy or an MA guy. If you're an MA guy, then you think Drew is better. If you're an Avo guy, then you think Max is better.
what if you're both guys?
I personally am a big fan of both of you, and I personally am a big fan of MA and Avo. I skew Avo's side, but that's because they helped us out with a lot.
They did.
And Brad is a great guy. Brad Wirtz over there.
Brad
I don't think
White.
I could name a single person at ACT Lighting, to be honest with you.
And Evo currently has the best.
Well, I can give an ACT shout out to Ryan and Spencer. They Ryan and Spencer over at ACT have really helped in the profile building stage in the last 2 days.
Oh yeah, thank you to Ryan at ACT. Yeah, great point.
Hey, you need to thank our guys over at Afterglow.
Oh, actually, absolutely.
Afterglow, just out here in Elkridge. So we're in Laurel, Maryland, which is halfway between Baltimore and DC. And our good friends over at Afterglow are the folks that we rented the MA from. But they're going to be in here on Monday, actually, to mess with the system a bit.
I'm just saying.
Oh, hey, let me re-enable. Okay, sweet.
One of the things I love is how these guys set up this handoff between two completely different brands of console to go from laser to laser.
I think I want to build like some intensity strobes or something. That's what I'm feeling right now.
And I like intensity strobes.
Yeah, I just want to get crazy.
Hey, dude, that random full beam strobe that you had earlier today.
Which one? You mean remake that?
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
He's already made it. Why not make something new?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I hear the whole point of MA is that once you make something, you never need to make it again, right?
Hey, you got a point.
He dropped a thumb drive in the ocean.
All right, well, that's your fault for dropping a thumb drive in the ocean,
you
Mr.
see.
Cruise Ship.
It'd be really nice to be able to use a thumb drive to import, but I'm being good. I'm trying to build everything from scratch like a good boy.
We're not selling consoles here, boys.
We're not.
I'll sell consoles all day long, man. I'm an Avo dealer.
You are an Evo dealer.
I am. As of last week, X-Laser is officially an Avolites dealer. Like, I know a lot of folks who are in the industry love MA, and for good reason, but I personally just love the support that we got from Avo so much. I'm so pumped to be working with them.
Somebody's asking for a showdown.
That's Chris James. I think the showdown might be tomorrow night. We got to sort of wing it, but I think we're going to do some kind of like punting thing, where maybe we'll set up 2 on one, 3 on the other. I don't know.
I will tell you, one of the downfall pits of showdowns with me and Drew are the fact that we actually run together
Yep.
in tandem on the normal
Like-
with an Avo and an MA.
Yeah.
It's not entirely irregular for you guys.
We,
kind of normal.
We tend to start working together
That's a beautiful thing.
due to the fact of just how we work.
So right now, this flicker that you folks see is not a camera artifact.
Nope,
This
that
is an
would be me.
intentional intensity chase he's got going on here.
This would be me. Just kind of trying to see what I got here.
Brad says, "Oh great, now I'm going to end up with an Avo." Brad, I will tell you, getting into an Avo is the cheapest thing you will buy. You can get started with a Titan 1 for $250 to $300. I think you've spent about 100 times that on lasers. Believe me, buddy. This
Tell
is.
Brad he needs to come visit me this week before I leave.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
If you
great.
got the time, man, come on down this weekend. I know he's got a lot going on. He's like the head guy in charge at a banquet hall and conference center.
Brad needs to come talk to us this week.
Brad really needs to come talk to us this week.
Well, if you get the chance, come on down, Brad. Otherwise, I'll let
Where's
you
he
know next
at?
time these guys are going to be in town, but it's a lot of fun.
Where's he at? I might go talk to him.
He's up in Delaware. He's
How
like
far
an
is
hour
that?
and a half away from here.
Hey,
Straight up
road
95.
trip.
And now that I've given away all of Brad's identifying information,
He's definitely not hitting on the
Andrew, thanks
intros.
for joining the watch since you've been in the room for the past hour.
He thought it might be a good idea.
Man. I'm just having fun watching you guys actually put this thing to use because
It's been a long time coming for you, huh?
It has.
Talk up so everybody can hear you.
Yeah, so we put a lot of thought and effort in how this thing was going to actually work, but we had a lot of kind of revelations just talking to Drew and Max as we were kind of developing this and fleshing it out, how it works. Yeah, because we come at it from a laser perspective and not a moving light perspective. So figuring out how we kind of make those two things come together, how we make the laser put it in the same language as a moving light. We learned a lot in this whole process, and we learned a lot in particular from Drew and from Max and from the folks at Avolites as we were building this profile, how to make it work. So it's been really rewarding to see these guys actually put this to use and actually do some cool stuff with it. So I get, I play with this as I've been developing the software for it, and there's times where I'll start out testing an effect that I just created in the software, and then 10 minutes later I realize I'm not really testing it anymore. I'm just kind of playing around looking at the pretty lights, which is a good thing, but it's entirely different when you put it in the hands of a skilled programmer and see them actually start to build up a whole sequence of things that are synced to music, are cohesive and really shows their skill as a designer with it.
So one thing I want to touch on real quick is...
Well, Dane did
maybe
have
I'll
a
turn on my
question, too.
microphone. Sorry about that.
Dane did have a quick question.
Yeah, I
too.
wanted to touch on that question by Dane. So Dane says, Drew, how are you doing that? I assume you can't do this the typical way you would on an MA with the effects engine. You want to talk about that for a second, Drew?
Yup. I am actually started this with the form of the Pantil flyout, which would be 21.1, somewhere in that range of when you load your forms. So I'm actually using that, and then I modified it a little bit by changing the way that it's grabbing the 4 different effects engines, because each laser is technically 4 lights. So I had to modify how I was selecting that to get this the look I'm getting here. But it's easy as all get out. You know, I've been using, I did import some of my MA tricks. I did import a few of my base effects just to have them on hand. And I have modified stuff and copied out of that, using those as bases. But everything's copying over, everything's working in an MA engine. And I know on the Avo it's the same way. Max brought in some of our 5R stuff.
Go and everything from 5Rs.
Yeah, 5Rs, same way. Using the effects engine of the console. And that's what's great about Mercury, is it gives you the effects engine of the console. So it's really cool.
I'll speak back to that real quick. Dang, as much as you know I'd love to sell you an Avo, I know you're never going to switch. But at that same point, one of the things that you're probably going to tune in with later is something me and Drew are getting ready to play with, is how many things can we map across? One of the biggest things I have on festivals is I want to throw a laser at it because of the band it is. The LD might want to use lasers, but he's not a laserist. Because he's worried that his show file will not translate. He can't map it, so he can't use it. I'm going to test it. We're going to grab a few of our old show files. We're going to see how we can map across. Join us tomorrow on our webcast and see how it actually works out.
So I guess that's no longer a tentative maybe.
Nope,
That's
we're
now
doing
confirmed. We're doing it. All right, folks. Well, if you enjoyed this, tune in tomorrow because we're definitely going to do this again. I think we're going to keep running a little bit here, though.
We're gonna try to map that stuff across. We'll cover some of the punting things. If you don't want me and him to go head to head, I'm not even gonna lie. It's gonna end up being with us working together.
Yeah, it's gonna.
On the normal, I normally run lasers and media. He takes care of the moving lights and front light and mismatch color. So,
But it looks good.
It looks
That's the
great.
best part. You can check out some of our work together on Instagram at DH Production Designs on Instagram. Also on Facebook.
You can also check that out at Drew Hornback on Instagram and
Yep.
Daniel Maxwell on Instagram.
And don't think that's your Instagram name. You know,
Is that not my Instagram?
I think it's Daniel_Max.
Max just
Maxwell.
discovered social media today. I
Oh yeah, I
apologize.
suck at social media. I'm great at talking. I don't shut up.
But we love that. That's part of the fun, man.
All right, let's make something new. Dude.
Hey, sorry, I got to talking, but what do we want to see? Like, you want to see some like?
Is there anything anyone wants to see? Go ahead and pipe in the comments. Otherwise, we're just going to sort of improvise, building
Dang,
up
give
a
me a
couple
look.
things.
I know you're on here. Tell him something to make, and we'll see how fast he can do it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We'll send it over there to you and see how that
Nope,
goes.
I want it on MAs.
All right, let me go find my thumb drive real quick.
That's sick of shit.
But yeah, no, I mean, we're having a blast in here. It's been really fun. I kind of am sick of these colors, that's for sure. Let's
How can you be
change.
sick of these colors? These are the best colors in the world,
I
man.
know, but
That's my jam.
Hey.
That's my set.
Will, man, what are you doing this weekend? Are you in?
Well,
Baltimore?
Carter, if you're within driving distance, come on down, man. We'll give you directions.
Multicolor, random color changing beams request.
Interesting choice. You know what's funny? I think I programmed that. We're good to go.
Can he bitmap? I don't know what this
So the
means.
request is multicolor, random color, change.
No, I have not built
I know how to do
bitmaps
this
yet,
on Avo.
Dane.
You know how to do
I
that,
love
man?
that you.
I got a computer programmer question for an MA.
Is it from Dane?
Yeah.
He wants me to bitmap, doesn't he?
Can I bitmap color into this thing?
Yes, you can.
Yes,
That's,
he can.
dude, I'm building a bitmap first thing in the morning, and I'm so pumped about it. I am so pumped about it.
That's awesome. Q17 Gobo. That's a laser guy joke. These guys aren't gonna get.
Okay, I don't get that, but what does that mean?
What is that?
Q17 is the Q that you always go to, man. Like everyone's got Q17.
Well, I got hot
Talking to
beams.
my headset. There we go.
I got hot beams.
You got the hot beams?
I got hot beams.
I like the
somewhere.
hot
I
beams.
gotta remember where they're at.
Random pattern.
So is that
Well, I'm going to look up Q17 and I'm going to make sure we have that in there, man.
You mean like what he's doing right now?
Or does he mean like a gobo chase?
I got a gobo chase right here.
That's what he's running.
Oh, is those my high beams? Did I finally find them?
I love that with the gobo chase here, you see like the occasional letter just come through.
Dude, that was when I. There they are.
Yeah, there's the A.
Go back to A's.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got some J's. We got some J's in the house. Anybody?
Yeah, there are
E.
400 plus gobos here. We've just barely scratched the surface.
Including the alphabet.
And I'm a terrible artist, in case you can't tell by the Adam can't draw
Adam
gobo.
can't draw.
Hey,
So we hired a couple of great artists like Mike Dunn and Peter Jan Roosh in order to put together some of these gobos for us so that they're a bit cleaner and
Oh, the high beams.
better
Go back to
looking.
hot beams.
Oh,
So, one of the great things about this that I like is the fact that most of the time there's two things that I ever get asked for. One is I want a lot of beams, move it. There you go. It's gobo.
well, hold on. You know what's the best part about this, right?
What's that?
What if we throw a prism on it?
Where's on it?
I love prisms.
I mean, cause look, we got the prism possibilities are endless. You know, like
Do the radial, do the last one, the 6 hex.
oh, that's a good one. It's actually not the last one.
Oh, that's true. Because
We'll,
there's
we'll
more
take
in
it.
there right now.
We'll take it. It's a little.
We got a lot going on.
I,
One of the other giant things that we get asked for, or I get asked for on the normal, is, dude, can you just make things one color and liquid sky?
bro, I got you. Give me just 5 seconds.
Liquid skies are a blast to build on
dude.
this system.
The
I have had a blast today with this simple liquid sky. That, I mean, come on. And then, you know what?
It's like the
I wanna
easiest
play
thing in
with
the
camera.
world, but
I wanna
it's
play with the camera
effective.
a little bit here.
One thing I want to note is that we are in a safe environment. We've got all the hard beam blocks set up so none of us can walk into it. So don't be an idiot and set this up in your demo room and walk into it.
So, one of the big things to remember about when you are doing this with the lighting console stuff is, as an LD, lasers are not the only thing I got. The reason I don't take lasers on my show most of the time, it's not a laser show. That's not what it is. The lighting designers design the shows most of the time. It's just another tool for an LD to use now. You can do your own stuff, you save the bunk on the bus. But when you want this look right here, and then all of a sudden you want to blow your beams out through the air with your Sharpies, or you want to kick out and watch the stage, or maybe you want to slam your audience blinders, you have another tool to use. And the trick is to get as many tools in your arsenal as you can.
Yeah, and that's the big part of this is we want to make sure that it's not overly complex, but you've got a bunch of tools you can get into. I can't hear what you're saying, so just speak up.
I'm not gonna listen. What's the price on one of these? What's the price
damn
right
it,
now?
you're gonna
List
make us-
price
make me
on
look this
M5.
up. You know that I am not a sales guy. You're going to pay less than $1 per milliwatt. So if they're 5 watts, you're going to pay less than $5,000. That's where it's at.
And you don't
Wow.
need a computer to run it, just run your cables.
Right. You just need your Ethercon cables or your DMX cables. One of the things I did forget to touch on that I meant to but didn't because I forgot because I was panicked because I screwed up the sound is we're running these using our EtherStop system. So it's a single cable that's running both the data and the e-stop system from unit to unit. And we actually have an e-stop pendant at each one of these desks that's just tied into the whole system. So that either one of them has the ability to slam that e-stop whenever they need.
Yeah. Dane. I'm working on a bitmap. I know exactly what you're talking about, Dane, because I'm the exact same way. Having the bitmap and throwing just whatever you want to on top of it, literally, it's life-saving. And then with 20 fixtures, stacking them in a bitmap is just, I can't wait. I'm pumped. We didn't have the time to get to it today, but I showed these guys the bitmapper yesterday and kind of explained how I use it. And I think we're all pretty much excited to see what it's going to look like tomorrow.
So to talk about what Brad's asking here, is there something comparable to zones like there is in software built into this where you prevent the beams from going where you don't want them to go, wider or lower. So there are actually two different places where that can happen. The way that we have the whole thing set up, and if you watch some of our videos on YouTube, you can see this. You can actually set the master so that absolutely nothing can exit that zone, completely safe. Still hard beam block it, just like you would if you were using software and setting your zones. Because we all always absolutely hard block our lasers, right? Everybody does that. So absolutely do that. But then also, inside of each of the different builders, you can set it up just so that you have an independent zone, or you can do the keystone correction, all that. So it's literally the exact same as in some software packages where you have projector settings for your master overall, and then projection zones for breaking it up into this goes here, this goes there, this goes here, this goes there.
Kind of an example right here. Obviously, I'm not going to mess with my master zone. That's unsafe to work with right now. But I just moved my zone here on my builders. Moved that down to about 10% of what the whole zone is right now. If I want to change it back, it's quick and easy. Very scalable. Gives you back the big beam look that you are looking for always, usually.
There's one term that is not unbeknownst to lighting guys that we use very often, especially for setting our power, for setting lots of things, and it's called parking.
Yep.
The way that this gets locked off is by, in our consoles, is by, on an Avo it's called freezing. On a hog, I know it's called parking. What's called that thing? Parking?
Park.
So,
Also known as pause on the key.
pause on there. Basically, in the master fixture, you set the area you're allowed to go to. My master area is allowed to go to is 90% of this ceiling and down to the top of that camera.
Mine's
Once I did that, I froze it. Hog guys, Avo guys, or Hog guys, Jans, and
It's all pretty much park.
MA, y'all are parking stuff. So basically, you're going to park all the stuff in that one thing. After that point, you no longer need your masters. It's just another fixture that you happen to have patched. It's nothing but control.
Right. Hey Max, you want to play around with some more, or do we give it back to you, or where we at?
I don't care.
We're going to go ahead and throw it back to Max. We're going to put him in the fire. Even though he's watching the stream on his phone, not
I am
really
too.
understanding that it's delayed by like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I am also doing that. The only reason why he doesn't know that is because social media.
Yeah,
Once
he
learned about it
he
today.
just discovered Facebook and Instagram today.
One of the really cool things that I do like is
You're like going to give us a seizure in here.
I'm really trying hard. So right now I have layer 1 up. I have nothing but a cone. The reason that I'm staying in the cone with a lot of what I'm showing is because I'm trying to compare it with a lot of light fixtures. You all spoke on punning earlier, and one of the things that I really want to show is the fact that I can take this right here, zone 1, I have it set in a position. Zone 2, I want to set it in another position. I'm going to go ahead and home everything. For everyone who's not on an Avo who likes the console to tell you what to do, just hit clear. Ouch.
How many times do you have to clear, though?
I don't know, I don't have to hit clear. My stuff stays where I tell it to.
Interesting.
So everything right now is in its home position. All layers. Rolling through my flash button are 4 layers right now. We got 5 lasers. I do not have each laser individually selected, just every laser in the 4 separate layers that the one machine creates. So this will be my first position. We'll go ahead and select the next one. And we're going to give it this position. We'll select the next layer. We'll give it something wider. There we go. Next one. There we go. What I like is one of the things that I can do is just like you can your flash buttons, I can create those movement effects between everything. But the other thing that is very special that we can actually do about it which we've not been able to do for a long time, smoothly, is the fact that these 8 lasers are actually a 16-bit profile. The reason that they're a 16-bit profile is to make sure that we can move smoothly between positions. I'm on one builder right now. I'm going to give these things a 6-second fade. And I'm just going to move positions. All I did was send them to a different location. This is why I can map these to whatever I want. We'll bring them back down. This is a 4-second fade. Let's go with a 6-second fade up to center. Now, one of the things that I want to show, I really want to show the speed out of this, because your moving darks work so much better based on this fact.
You know how to use that
I
function?
do actually know how to use that.
When did you learn to use that function?
Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So I'm in center right now, I'm going to move to straight, and it's immediate. I don't have any scan distance. So let's go back to center real quick. I'm going to go to a big spread. That is a spread. I'm immediately there. It doesn't take time. It doesn't move smoothly. It goes.
Which is just crazy that you just be able to, pop like that. And it's on position, it's on color, it's on gobo, it doesn't matter, man. And this is Max not running the lasers because he's busy looking at the goddamn.
Sorry, I'm reading. The other thing is a lot of my colors that are set up. Oh, he has my hands in here. I saw that. These are all just colors, just like your regular color palette. So just your other color mixing that you can get out of all your fixtures, you can map it across. You can keep your same stuff. Everything down here that I have at the bottom, which I don't know if you can see my screen, it's actually going to give you the colors that I built mixed up for my BIs. Shut up, dang.
Yeah, BIs.
Yeah, we'll call them those.
Is that
I
what they're
like the
called?
BI.
Yeah, I love the BI.
One of the colors
play
that I
vacuum.
can get, and I don't know if the camera is translating this as good as it is your colors are way.
This is not translating the beautiful orange we're getting.
Is it not?
Nowhere close.
Okay, I can't see that.
Yeah, it's really fun that we can get a couple different shades of orange. Like we can
So-
get a pure orange, we can get a rust, just all kinds of
I got
shades.
this rusty orange, burnt orange color going. I got a little more of a yellowish orange. And the great thing about these is there's such a high contrast that it really doesn't matter what look you're going for, you can make it punch. That being said, if everybody's hearing laser and going, awesome, I'm going to point 30 Sharpies in the audience and then try to shoot 6 lasers out there and they're going to blow everything out. It's not going to happen, guys. You got to make sure, just like any fixture you have to program fixtures together. And I think that's one of the big things that you need to make sure you do to make sure that you're still getting all the cool looks that we're coming up with.
Brad's got a great question real quick about zoning.
Yeah, so Brad's asking about, and this is where it shows that Brad's a really experienced laser guy. He's saying the only thought is that LDs now have to be cognizant of avoiding cameras, projectors, reflective surfaces, mylar balloons getting loose, etc. And I assume that's a new regular thing about when setting up and working a show. That's absolutely the case, man, and that's in all of our training materials. It's in all of our training sessions and everything. The reality is every single time you're setting up a laser, you have to make sure the area you're projecting into is safe. That's not independent of our lasers. That's everybody's product. So we like to make sure that we do all of our training, and that's why, I mean, you probably know this better than anyone else, Brad, but we are the best when it comes to training in the industry, man.
Oh,
I mean,
and
hell, I
the
spend a
free
bunch of
version.
time training people who have other people's product. Just
And-
today, I was talking about how the EtherCon works on another brand of laser in one of these Facebook groups here like 3 hours ago. So let me know if you would corroborate that, Brad, or if you think there's a different opinion to go about. But short version is, yeah, you got to watch out for this stuff, but you always have to know where your lasers terminate. That's just part of lasers.
And I think one of the great points here that we can make is X-Laser offers the variants with your laser purchase. And there's not laser companies out there that give you that. And that's a huge safety thing because you have the videos and you have the training available for them to have that variance and everything else.
Yeah, and that's the thing is all the black label products, we do the free variants. First time you're doing an outdoor show for the FAA, we help you through that process and we fill out the paperwork for you the first time. But we don't just fill out the paperwork for you. We guide you through the process so you can see how we filled out that paperwork, how you go about it, that kind of thing. We like to teach a man to fish, if you know what I'm saying. Holy crap, that looks cool.
I know that I'm just sitting here and y'all are going to get to see me sit for a second because I'm waiting until I can see if this actually shows up on camera real well.
It does.
Norbert says, show me something cool, but I think this is pretty damn cool.
Let it get there. There you go, Norbert. Yeah, y'all are going to hear that awkward pause because I'm sitting in the room. So, one of the cool things about this is remember, we only have 5 machines in this room.
It's true.
That's it. I'm running 2 builders right now. Out of these 2 builders, I'm able to get the beam effect that you would hire a laserist for, and the light of the room effect that your lighting guy would get. We can move. Do you want to run this song? Oh.
So Chris Shaw just came in with a quick question. What's the cost of a laser? That's a good question, Chris. The short version is, how long is a rope? Like, it's the age-old question. There are a lot of things that go into the cost of a laser. You can get a laser that's legal in the U.S., built well, nicely supported, for as low as $1,500, all the way up through $50,000, $60,000 for the ultra high-speed, high-power stuff. It's a matter of what works for your situation and what you need. A lot of times the trend these days is to go with lower-powered lasers in larger quantity. So instead of a single 20-watt in here, for the same cost, we get these 5 watts. And it allows you to have a bigger feeling show in a lot of cases. But there are some cases where you need the 20 watts of power. Short version is, shoot us a message or shoot us an email to sales@xlaser.com. Give us a call, 866-702-7768. And we'll help you figure out, what size laser you need for your event, and then we can figure out costs based off of that. But the really short version of that answer was $1,500 to about 10 grand for the most common models in that range. I hope that helps. I love that you've just got this shape going on, this second fixture in these things.
I literally only have 2 builders up right now. I have page 1, gobo number 1, which is a circle, up on layer 1. And I have, I don't remember what page it is, or gobo because I started getting tired of drawing pictures for them.
I made too many gobos. Max got sick of labeling them all.
I was literally drawing them all and I got real tired that fast. But I got the beam effect running on layer 2. All I did was go into my shape generator, Vex engine, or M-Matrix, whatever.
How'd you go into M-Matrix on the Evo?
Yeah, for real.
That's a really cool trick, man.
I've never even heard of that one.
I just stuck my thumb drive in. That's all those M-A guys got to do, right?
Woo!
Basically, I'm just running a circle with a 5 spread. Is all I'm doing with this look right here.
So do something else with the other part of it, so it's not just sitting there.
No.
All right, that works.
But I will add another layer.
I like more layers.
And then we'll
I like
take
my
that
lasers like I like my
layer,
sandwiches
and
with
we'll
a lot of
move
layers.
it, and then we'll give
See,
it
with a lot of
another
layers.
shape. Do what? I do call them layers, and they get on to me, and I don't really give a shit.
Begin.
Drew's singing, it's horrible, guys. Block your ears.
I should turn off his mic.
So I'm just putting a basic tilt saw on here.
That's what I love is when you go out of the zone, it cuts off and it comes back in. It's a really neat effect doing that.
I know I'm doing some really crazy colors. I'm doing it just for contrast, to be quite honest.
Oh, you should fix that.
Oh, shut up. There, I'll give you red. Probably can't see it. One of the really crazy things to think about, actually, which is a difference in a laser, and it's something you want to think about when you're designing a show. Adam and Andrew can speak more to it, but red is the weakest color of your fixture.
Usually, yeah. I mean, there's some custom cases where that's not the case, but usually, yeah.
The
Red's not just going to be the weakest. Like, sometimes it's equal in power to the green and or the blue, but it's definitely the hardest to see. So even at an equal power level to the green, it's going to, like, if you have a watt of red and a watt of green, that watt of red is going to look about a third as bright as the watt of green when they're next to each other.
That's something you need to make sure that you're thinking about when you're programming your shows.
But I mean, how is that different from, and this might just be me not understanding, but how's that different from when you're using CMY flags or something and you end up running red heads
Well,
or
one,
red
if
gels?
you're using CMY flags, you're not going to use red because you can't get red.
You can't get red out of CMY?
No.
See, this is what I know about color theory. Absolutely nothing.
Well, you can, it's just really crappy.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man.
So, these actually give you a true red, which is also another big thing to make sure.
But
you
if
look
red's
at.
this big of a deal to you, why wouldn't you get a 10 watt or 20 watt?
The
You know?
reason that I speak to the red is if you're looking to throw red lasers, red beams through the air with whitewash on your stage out of your auras or spiders or whatever you pick, you're not going to cut. So the same way you would need to think about putting your Vipers, your RTs Da Vinci's, your whatever moving light of choice you have, your profile fixture, you need to make sure that you're putting that laser into that same category with its textures.
Change things,
Because the
change
same
things up a bit
way-
visually while you're talking. We'd love to.
They're getting on to me.
They're not getting onto you. I'm getting onto you. Like, I love this look, but I want to see more looks.
So you need to make sure that you're keeping with the fact that it's the same principle. Just because it's a laser doesn't mean that it's always going to be brighter. I don't really know what I'm hitting is going to do. I'm just going to tell you.
That's fine. Mess around with it. I mean, if things break, we'll tell you that things break. I got no problem with
Well, that's
that.
kind of cool. So I'm applying.
Hey, we got a shop to fix that right here.
I
There you go.
applied a color shape or color effect out of my color engine to the fixture. It's something I haven't done yet. I figured why not play with it.
I mean, it seems to work just like it would with, any other light.
The reason I'm doing this is I'm curious how, as you can see here. And
Dane
let's go
says
ahead and
less
get out.
Christmas, please.
Yeah, so, other than you don't see all the trash in the middle, there was a pre-built effect that my console gave me of a white and green.
So I got a couple comments here on the Facebook stream. Will says, "You guys have any three-phase up there? I'll bring over an Argon Krypton if you really want to explore colors."
I am 10,000% in favor of that.
Yeah,
Andrew
we
says
will-
he's 10,000%
we will
in favor of
find-
that.
we will
I
find-
love gas lasers, man. I am too damn lazy to lug them around and hook up the water and the three-phase, but we have three-phase and we have water. So I love them, man. Yeah, bring it over. Chris Shaw says, "Do these gobos have an animation wheel?"
Do not need it.
Well, no, it's not that you do not need it.
It's
that
there.
The whole concept is completely
All
different.
right, so.
So do you guys want to talk about this, or do we want Andrew to talk about
I
this?
want to talk and then let Andrew tell you the even crazier part about it. So the reason that I want to talk, I'm going to give you control back.
Well, I'm like building stuff in the
Oh,
show
you
file.
feel stuff. So the coolest thing about it is, this is so crazy. Your console has an effects engine. The laser has two effects engines in itself.
Well, that's two if you're only counting movement. Because there's also
That's
the two
true.
waveform generators. On top of that, you've got
The
geometric
same
pre and
way
post spin.
When we apply our waveforms to our colors and all of our other things, the laser has that in itself. So essentially, I can take my effects generator on everything else. I can apply it to an effects generator and another effects generator. Or another waveform and another waveform. The crazy thing is the reason I do not need an animation wheel, which is actually a wheel in most moving lights that breaks it up, is because this is completely graphical. It's still a graphical laser.
Isn't it like texture
It just has the
based?
control from a console. So if you can do it with a media server, It's an aerial media server, guys.
All right, so a lot of this is shown in our other videos, but since Max is just letting this sit here, I'm actually going to kick him out and see if I can take the driver's seat here.
So do you want to go into the waves?
Oh,
That's analog too.
Do you mind if I kick you out and take the driver's seat here?
Go ahead.
All right. So I apologize. I haven't used this show file at all, so if I get a little lost, that's how it goes. And if the microphone drops out, well, I'm sorry, but I'm using a wireless mic, so we'll see what happens. All right. So I've got, I'm looking for layer 1. Oh, you did move things around, Mark, didn't you?
Oh, layers are all up here in the top corner.
Okay, so I
Like
want to,
buttons, select your groups. You can't do that on anyway.
all right, so I want to clear
That's not
this
even
out
true.
here.
I have right here. You want to come look at that?
Oh, I gotta go learn it, man.
I'm going to select Builder 1 here.
Oh.
And I'm going to come in and, all right, let me go ahead and pick a nice simple gobo.
I know you do.
You want mine too?
No. I'm just kidding. Okay. You just wanted because you now know that I've been holding out.
Max, how do I select the layer here, Chief?
Select if.
I have that. All right, so that's my intensity. So what I want is, oh, that's my master. Okay, so all right, cool. So I've got that guy. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my layer, and then I'm going to locate that. So I've just got my standard located fixture. I'm going to go ahead and pick a square there. So a couple of the different examples I've got here. One of the things I can do is I can come into the Prism function, and I'll go ahead and you do have this laid out a little differently than I'm used to. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do a triangular prism. Andrew, can you see that at all on the ceiling? Should I move my position up?
That's better.
Okay. All right. Cool. So now I'm going to take my geopre, and I'm going to go ahead and scale it down a bit on the X, scale it down a bit on the Y. Now I've got these really tight squares here. Are we having? Oh yeah, we're having an ArtNet fight. What are you guys doing to me here? Come on, I'm not a console pro like you. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a spin on this.
You gotta mess with the boss every once in a while.
You know, there you go. I'm glad to hear I'm the boss. So I've got a spin on that, and that's what you would a lot of times consider, you know, your animation of your gobo. But what I'm also going to do is come into GeoPost, and I'm going to apply a spin in the exact other direction. So I've got a bit more animation there. That would just be your, you know, your prism spin. But then I can do all kinds of other cool things. Let me go ahead and locate the fixture again. Okay, now I'm going to change my gobo. Let's see. Oh, he's got this nicely broken up here. Cool. All right. So I'm going to go page 2, pattern 2, just to show you this big old liquid sky. I'm going to go to my up position so you can see it on the ceiling a bit. I'm going to come into wave 1. And now I can actually go ahead and put on a sine wave to this thing. So I'm going to pick a linear sine wave. I'm going to give it a wavelength. I'm going to give it an amplitude. I'm going to give it a speed. So now we've got this like rippling liquid sky kind of effect. One of the fun things I can do if I change, let me go ahead and go to my geopre, and I'll scale this down a bit. What?
Right there, you're going out.
Well, I'm about to put a prism on it, so that should help not blow it out so much. Come into my prism mode, and I'll do a 1x2 prism. So now when I come back to the waveform, I can tell it. I'll decrease our wavelength there. Or sorry, I guess technically I'm increasing the wavelength. That always messes me up from a like perspective of frequency and all that. So right now I've got it in geometric pre, and you can see that it's broken up into one wave on one part of it, one wave on another part of it, because it's doing it before the prism. If I come here to post, it's now doing a single waveform over the entire thing after the prism. And there are tons of different things we can do with that because we've got tons of different waves. We've got radial sine, radial ramp. Radial ramp is probably my favorite. There we go. Now you get this cool little like pulsing in and out. So the animation options are nearly endless. It's absolutely insane. And unfortunately, now I need an adult to actually run a console for me. Yeah, absolutely. Andrew's going to show off a couple things.
Yeah.
And then I think since we're coming up on 2 hours here, I'm going to want to run the shows one more time to close it out.
Yeah, and I'm almost done building this bitmap. I just got to find some really awesome...
You've been implementing the bitmap thing while we've been sitting here.
Look, come here. Check this out.
That's crazy.
And of course, Max went to go get more beers.
Yeah, we got some Sine.
Yeah,
Hey, don't
you
forget our
animal
friends
here.
in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Sugarland's Moonshine, keeping us very great today. Check it out. Yeah, we got the bitmap right here.
Holy shit, dude.
I'm starting to build it. So, like, I got the layers.
Yeah, it's just right there.
Yeah, but now I need some awesome GIFs and some awesome videos. So I'm working on that.
All right, so if you guys want to see the bitmap side of this on the MA, tune in tomorrow. We're going to get that going. I'm just a little floored by the fact that he did this while we were just sitting here. Andrew, you want to show us a couple things, like 2 minutes worth, and then we'll go into the shows one last time to close it out?
Yeah, sure. So I just wanted to, since we're talking about waves and effects and how you can get animations and texture in your patterns, one of the kind of cool things here is that you have a whole lot of different effects that all kind of stack. So we have the wave effects going on here, and then we also have all kinds of different color effects. And what we can do is we can do color effects that are based on geometry. So just touch your wheel here. I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah,
That's
that trackball doesn't work like a trackball.
All right, good. So I've got this grading here, so I've got 2 different colors happening. So I've got this green, this orange. So right now, if I have my angle at 0, they're actually top and bottom, so we're not seeing them. But you can see here if I go to 90 degrees, you get the left, right? But if I adjust the position of my gradient here, I think that I can get that color back there again. Let's see. I don't actually know how to use this particular console very well. So.
I do.
See, Max
There we go.
screwed it all up.
This is a little different from the quartz. There we go. Now I think with here.
Yeah, here at X Laser we have a Quartz and a bunch of Titan 1s and a Titan Mobile that we love. And the Sapphire is amazing, we're just not used to the layout yet.
So what I can do is I can change the place where that gradient happens. And if I get it just right here and I get my fade with low, actually let me go back to that wave and make that a little smaller. So if I make that a little higher. And then I go back into the color here. I'm not used to having, I usually make the attribute editor huge. Oh, there you go. Now I can see what I'm doing. That's way better. Thank you. So if I get this right in the middle here, and you know what, I have to change where the wave effect happens, so I didn't see where you put that. Alright, waves on close. I need to go to 3 here. So if I change the width of that fade, and I change its position, I can get to the point where as the wave goes up, it goes to a different color. So you can see right there on the one on your right there. So as that wave moves up, it changes to orange, it comes back down, it changes to green. That's the way that you can have effects kind of stack and get more dynamic, more texture. So I can change the fade width to go a little softer, a little more subtle effects. So this holds for the waves, holds for color effects, holds for the motion effects, all kinds of things that you can use. You can change the order they apply as well, so you can get really complicated effects just by playing with those, how they're applied. So we can get more into that probably tomorrow. We try to get building an effect from scratch and how you set up your busting and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. So we're coming up. We got a few minutes left before we hit our 2-hour mark here, where I need to pee. So you guys want to run those shows one more time? Close it out.
Yeah, Max, you wanna go first?
Let me rephrase. Max, you want to go first?
I'm really deep in this, downloading really awesome textured GIFs.
I like that.
I need an X Laser GIF. Can we make one of those tomorrow?
We have an X Laser GIF. We'll make that happen. All right. So you were doing Enlightened.
Oh, we're gonna run the song one more time?
Yeah. Have you not been listening to what I've been saying?
No.
All right. Fair enough. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Go. 2-1.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining us, man.
Bravo.
Oh, damn it, I went into the next song. I didn't have a clean guitar. That's why I'm not an artist. Sorry, folks. All right, let me know whenever you are ready, Max. I'm sorry, Drew.
Hey, Max, you're up again.
Yep, you're up again.
Let's go. Oh, well, hold on, not me.
Wait, you're not ready? All that time.
Hey,
All
I got
that
some
time,
really
and you're
awesome
busy
gifts
developing
for this
MA
bitmap
bitmaps.
for Dane that I can't wait to show him.
All because of you, Dane. You're very special.
Hey, I mean, you should see the dude's portfolio. It's incredible.
Oh, I believe it, man.
So,
I'm just pumped that you got bitmaps going on the MA while you're just sitting there.
hey, that's what I do. All right, I'm ready to roll. Let's do this thing. Let's make sure I got the. Yep, we're good to go. Let's go.
Forget the rain. Forget the day before the day would turn around. And trade it all for redemption. 'Cause the freedom that you need is now. Standing in the sun. Trusting in the one
All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. This has been a hell of a lot of fun. We diverged from our original plan a little bit, but I think it was a blast doing the Q&A and just sort of going through what Mercury is and how it works from the perspective of a lighting designer. From a couple of great lighting designers, Drew and Max from DH Designs. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Thanks to Andrew for developing this awesome system and for being here tonight. Thanks to Afterglow Lighting for the GrandMA 2 rental. Thanks to DH Designs for the Sapphire rental, and Avolites for being generally kick-ass. Looks like we might be doing something similar tomorrow night, but more focused on punting. So if you have any interest, come on back. That should be probably a shorter stream, but very lively, a lot of fun. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, everybody. Have a great night.